I'm Sharon K. Atkins, Assistant Professor of Biblical Counseling, and I teach in the undergraduate program. I want to welcome you to Luther Rice and look forward to having you in class. I have been serving here for over 12 years, including my time as an adjunct professor. I was born in Louisiana and moved to Michigan at the age of 12 and remained there until I finished my first graduate degree. Later, I moved to the Great Northwest, living in Seattle, Washington, and then to Dallas, Texas, where I attended Dallas Theological Seminary, and after graduation, moved here to Atlanta. One of the things that I tell my students is there is pain in the pews. People are hurting, but the reality is pain is not just in the pews. It's also in the pulpit. Pastors and leaders are hurting as well. Week after week, people gather to worship the Lord, and yet they are in pain. They come dressed in their Sunday best, but for some, that clothing is really a mask. It's camouflage. They're trying to hide behind what's really happening in their lives. They want things to appear to be okay, but in reality, they are hemorrhaging internally. They're bleeding out. Their marriage is in ruins. Children are acting out. Some have become prodigals. There is sibling rivalry. Health issues surround them. There's a loss of interest in ministry, and they no longer want to serve the Lord. And I remind students that none of us are exempt from experiencing the issues. We need to be honest with ourselves about the issues that we are dealing with, and if necessary, seek Christian counseling. You see, we need to work on and through our issues so that we can be healthy enough to help those sitting beside us dealing with that pain in the pew. I don't know if you realize it or not, but hurt people hurt people. When you are dealing with emotional pain, we tend to hurt those closest to us. And if it doesn't stop, the cycle will continue. It's important for me to let you know that what I'm sharing with you is not based on something that I've read. I was one of those people that I described. I was hurting. As a child, I grew up going to church every week, but I had trouble trusting that God was really that loving and caring Father that the pastor and others talked about. My earthly father was absent, and God appeared to be absent as well. I was angry, and many years later realized that I was harboring unforgiveness in my heart. I am thankful for how the Lord intervened and saved me in my mid-20s, and that's for all eternity. And so I want you to be honest with yourself about whatever it is that you are dealing with and surrender it to the Lord. Whatever gifts that you have, whether it is counseling or teaching, or you've been called to preach, evangelize, or whatever God has commissioned you to do, you might feel like you cannot truly be effective because of your past, but nothing could be further from the truth. God does not waste our experiences. He uses the good, the bad, and the ugly to glorify Himself. And so I hope that you will join me in class so that we can seek to grow in the Lord together. One of the textbooks that I use for one of my courses is entitled Instruments in the Redeemer's Hand, People in Need of Change, Helping People in Need of Change. And so, let's honor God by being an ambassador and agent of change for Him. Again, I look forward to having you in class.